60 minutes is all it took. Survival of the fastest.
In the future, quantum weapons wreak havoc upon the Earth, leaving it in ruins and giving rise to mutants among the survivors. As the tale begins, we learn of the 60-minute war, a cataclysmic event that nearly wiped out all life. To endure, the survivors transformed their towns into colossal, nomadic cities mounted on wheels. Now, in this new era of predatory cities, survival hinges on hunting for food, fuel, and resources, with larger cities mercilessly devouring the smaller ones. Through a telescope, a young girl named Esther Shaw scans the horizon. Her vigilance is rewarded or cursed when she spots a predatory city closing in. With urgency, Esther infiltrates a small working town, the target of the oncoming predator. Chaos ensues as the town raises the alarm. Buildings fold, engines roar to life, and the wheeled city makes a desperate attempt to flee. Meanwhile, in nomadic London, Mayor Magnus Krome issues a command to capture the Bavarian town of Salt Hook. The larger city hungers for its resources. Despite Salt Hook's spirited resistance, its efforts are no match for the relentless pursuit. The town falters, collapsing under the strain of its escape, allowing London to seize it with ease. With cold efficiency, the mayor orders the captured city to be sent for recycling. Elsewhere, young historian Tom arrives at the London Museum to begin his work. There, he meets Catherine, a girl fascinated by the history of the 60-minute war. Together, they explore the museum's halls, filled with relics from the past, artifacts like smartphones and computers, now mere curiosities. In his workshop, Tom unveils a chilling video he's restored, revealing the devastating power of the Medusa, a quantum energy weapon responsible for the planet's near destruction. Haunted by the danger posed by such artifacts, Tom confides in Catherine about his secret. He has hidden military objects in a cache, planning to destroy them by sinking them in a swamp when the moment is right. Unbeknownst to them, their conversation is overheard by the historian Herbert. Herbert intercepts Tom in the corridor, assigning him to inspect the belongings of migrants from Salt Hook for historical treasures before they are incinerated. On the lower levels of the city, the refugees are processed, their weapons confiscated. Yet Esther Shaw, resourceful and determined, manages to smuggle a dagger past the inspectors. Simultaneously, an announcement echoes through London about the search for Anna Fang, a rebel agent from the League of Opponents of the movement. Descending further, Catherine and Tom encounter Valentine, Catherine's father and head of the Historians Guild. In the belongings of the migrants, a startling discovery is made: a nuclear inverter battery. Tom informs Valentine that he had a lot of such batteries, but for some reason, they were seized by the Guild of Engineers. Valentine defends the old resident of Salt Hook from the willfulness of the customs officer and appeals to people whose city has just been swallowed up, promising them shelter, work, and a chance to start a better life. Esther notices Valentine, and her eyes fill with anger. The girl is determined to end the eminent historian. Esther draws the dagger and reveals that it is revenge for her mother, Pandora Shaw. The girl manages to injure Valentine, but Tom runs to help the man and does not allow her to finish what she started. During the fight, the girl's scarf slips off, and we see a lot of scars on her face. Esther is forced to flee, but Tom pursues her. The girl overcomes a long way, meeting many dangers, but Tom does not plan to retreat. Esther finds herself on the edge of a waste chute and has no choice but to jump right into it. Tom grabs her arm at the last second, preventing her from falling. The girl says that Valentine took the life of her mother and that he does this with everyone who gets in his way. When Valentine catches up with them, Esther jumps deep into the chute. Shocked, Tom tells Valentine that he couldn't save the girl. The guy tells him Esther's words about her mother, and suddenly, Valentine pushes Tom himself into the chute. Nervous, Catherine rushes to the scene. Her father tells her that the railing broke down, and Tom and the stranger fell down. Suddenly, Catherine notices a mechanic named Bevis Pod who saw what really happened. The girl feels that her father is hiding something. Catherine tries to find out from her father who the stranger is. Valentine says that this is the first time he has seen her and that she may be from the Anti-Traction League. The man tries to convince his daughter that stationary and moving cities can never live peacefully. The stationary city of Shanguo develops an alternative civilization using traditional cities that are protected by the shield wall. According to Valentine, the enemies are just waiting for the moving cities to weaken from hunger and are simply obsessed with the idea of destroying London. On the other side, scout ships go looking for Tom and Esther. The girl understands that she cannot reveal herself, otherwise she will not survive. She searches for Tom, who is just beginning to regain consciousness, takes the knife from him, and leaves. The frightened guy asks the girl not to leave him. Esther is very angry with Tom because she tried to get close to Valentine for 6 months, and the guy ruined everything. He apologizes to Esther and begs to help him get to London. Valentine communicates with Mayor Crome, who informs the historian that all of the city's resources have been depleted. Valentine has long been developing a pioneering energy project, but the mayor is already tired of waiting. Catherine overhears their conversation, and her father explains to her that municipal Darwinism, the principle of hunting each other, according to which all predatory cities live, has already outlived its usefulness. But Valentine has a plan to keep London alive at all costs. Valentine goes to the laboratory, hidden from the eyes of the locals in St. Paul's Cathedral. From Dr. Twix, who is developing the project, he learns that it will take a few more weeks to complete. The woman believes that Esther can interfere with their plans and invites Valentine to deal with her. Twix reports that she has received news from Sharkmoor Prison about the capture of a stalker, a resurrected one who broke out of control. He's after Esther Shaw, which means he can do all the work for Valentine. The historian immediately goes to the jail. Meanwhile, exhausted, Esther and Tom decide to take a break. The guy talks about how he wanted to become an aviator, but because of the premature end of his parents, his dream was not destined to come true. He asks Esther about her mother, but the girl is not yet in the mood to talk about personal things and is still angry with Tom. At night, Tom spots a market town and calls people for help. Esther hurries to stop Tom because the Southerners are out to hunt at night. At the last moment, they dodge the harpoons and suddenly fall through the hatch of a car called the Scuttlebug. Tom rejoices at the rescue and asks the owners for a ride to the nearest town. Esther, who was shot in the leg, distrusts strangers and is wary of their hospitality. At the same time, Catherine finds Bevis Pod and asks him to tell her the truth about what happened at the shoot. The guy reluctantly explains that her father pushed Tom into the waste chute because he got in the way of Valentine. Bevis also tells the girl that the energy project is just a cover for something much more serious and dangerous. The guy is sure that something is being built in the cathedral, and he tried to get in there, but the building is guarded on all sides. Tom and Esther stay overnight at Scuttlebug. The girl decides to tell Tom about how Valentine took the life of her mother. Pandora Shaw was an archaeologist who traveled the world in search of artifacts. Valentine often visited them at home and examined ancient finds. But one day, everything changed dramatically. During excavations in the territory where America used to be, Pandora found a certain suitcase that Valentine desperately needed. The woman did not want to give away the dangerous find, so the historian got rid of her. At the last moment, Pandora managed to hand over her pendant to Esther. The girl managed to escape, but before that, Valentine ripped her face with a knife. Meanwhile, Valentine arrives at Sharkmoor Prison. There he learns that the stalker is very dangerous and has already destroyed a whole city. Valentine goes to the punishment cell in which the resurrected is held and asks why he needs Esther and what he will do with her when he finds her. A frightening creature with bright green burning eyes replies that Esther broke her promise, and for this, he will destroy her. Valentine attacks the prison, freeing the monster, and the stalker goes hunting. The next day, Tom informs Esther that they have changed course and are now heading south, and their owners have locked them up. They try to get out of the trap, and Tom finds a hatch, but Esther refuses to jump due to her injury. Tom decides not to leave the girl and stays with her. An auction is taking place in the slave market. Esther and Tom are going to be sold into slavery. Suddenly, Anna Fang is in the crowd, a wanted resistance agent who is cracking down on crazy Southerners. The mysterious woman frees Esther, who in turn helps Tom. Young people attempt to quickly get out of the city, but suddenly Shrike appears on their way. The resurrected one says that Esther must keep the word given to him once. The girl is frightened by the unexpected meeting and rushes away from the Shrike. Here, Anna Fang comes to the rescue again on her airship. She helps Esther, but Tom doesn't have time to jump inside. The girl cannot leave the guy and throws him a rope, along which he climbs onto the airship. Once safe, Esther incredulously asks Anna why she saved them. The woman says that she knew Pandora, and after her end, she tried to find her daughter. And recently, she learned that Esther miraculously survived, but was sure that the little girl could not have managed it alone. At this moment, Tom realizes that Esther survived thanks to Shrike, who raised her. The guy is shocked because he studied the resurrected, and their creators have put into these monster robots all the worst that can be in people. Esther is extremely displeased to hear this because Shrike saved her life. The girl tells Tom that Shrike took her to him and cared for her as best he could. He was interested in the pendant that Pandora gave Esther, and he took it to himself with the girl in addition. He collected dolls and various broken things in which he saw his own reflection. There seemed to be some memory of family and a normal life in Shrike. One day, watching the constantly saddened girl, he suggested that Esther become the same as him, so she would be cured of her suffering forever. After all, cyborgs do not remember anything and do not feel. Esther agreed and promised to become a cyborg. But soon the girl found out that London had entered the great hunting grounds and fled from Shrike because she had a chance to take revenge on Valentine. Meanwhile, a young scientist who saw a warehouse of military artifacts in Tom's workshop tells Valentine about his find in the hope of a promotion. Soon after this conversation, Catherine and Bevis learn that all the exhibits were stolen and taken to the cathedral by members of the Guild of Engineers. Through a secret passage in the workshop, Catherine and Bevis make their way up the winding stairs to the cathedral to find out what is really going on there. With the help of stolen parts, scientists complete the construction of the machine and adjust all systems. Now London is ready for war with Shan Guo, and Valentine orders to move east. Anna Fang with Esther and Tom land in the flying city of Airhaven. Esther and Tom meet members of the Anti-Movement League from Shan Guo. Anna says that Pandora asked to find Esther because only she can stop Valentine. The girl does not know how she can help. She only remembers that on that fateful evening, Valentine took a box from her mother. Captain Cora reveals that Valentine started buying up nuclear inverter batteries half a year ago. And suddenly, Tom remembers a recent conversation with Valentine. The guy draws the sign of the quantum weapon, and Esther confirms that she saw it on that box. Now the guy understands that Pandora has found a computer, a system for accessing the Medusa quantum energy weapon. It is possible to disable it only with the help of a special key, but it has long been lost. An enraged Magnus Chrome bursts into the cathedral and demands from Valentine to explain why he is issuing orders behind his back. But suddenly, he turns his attention to the newly launched Medusa and is speechless. Valentine explains that with such weapons, London is invincible. Chrome is against unleashing another war and demands to turn off the machine. Valentine plans to take over the whole world, and he gets rid of the mayor, as well as anyone who gets in his way. Catherine and Bevis are horrified by what they see in the cathedral. Valentine's daughter realizes that she no longer has a father. She will never be able to forgive him for what he did. There's a commotion in Air Harbor. The Resistance members discover that London is moving towards Shan Guo and that they have only hours left to stop Valentine. The mad historian wants to destroy the shield wall, about which the governor must be warned. Suddenly, the flying city loses electricity. Esther realizes that Shrike has come for her. The Resistance members open fire on the cyborg and do not listen to Esther, who asks them not to shoot. A fire starts. Residents of the city are in a hurry to evacuate. Suddenly, Shrike reappears in front of Esther and Tom. Tom attacks him, but the cyborg stops the guy and is about to end him. Esther begs Shrike to let him go, and then the resurrected understands that the girl loves Tom. Before his end of multiple wounds, Shrike frees Esther from her promise. He gives the girl her mother's pendant and passes out. During the blackout, Shrike reminisces about moments from their life with Esther, as well as their real child. Esther and Tom are again rescued by Anna Fang in an airship, while Air Harbor burns to the ground. The Anti-Movement League members head to Shan Guo. Valentine addresses the people of London and announces his plans to take over Shan Guo, so the territory of the city will become their new hunting grounds. People rejoice and enthusiastically support Valentine's ideas. Resistance members arrive in Shan Guo, and Anna convinces the governor to get the fleet up in the air to hit London first. Captain Cora discusses a plan for a preemptive attack with his comrades in arms. Dozens of Shan Guo warships are already in the sky. Meanwhile, the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral opens, and London is ready to strike. On the altar of the League of Opponents of the movement, Esther sees an image of a deity with a third eye, the same as the pendant that her mother left her. She opens it and finds the same key that allows her to turn off Medusa. The girl hurries to tell Tom about the find. Anna realizes that London will attack Shan Guo's shield wall in a matter of seconds and orders everyone to run away from it as far as possible. Valentine gives the command to activate the Medusa, after which the wall is shaken by a powerful explosion and engulfed in hellfire. Meanwhile, London restarts the mechanisms to deliver a second strike. Esther and Tom tell Anna about the found key. They suggest that the Resistance members go to London because this is the only chance to turn off the quantum weapon. Everyone supports the dangerous undertaking because the Allied fleet has already been destroyed and now they have nothing to lose. Anna, Esther, Tom, and their associates are determined to break through to London through heavy fire. Not everyone survives a fierce battle with the enemy. Esther and Anna enter the cathedral. While Esther makes her way to the computer, Anna distracts Valentine and they have a sword duel in which Anna is seriously injured. At the last second before the next blow, Esther stops Medusa. All sensors go out and the system stops working. Anna sacrifices her life and allows Esther to escape. Valentine finds his daughter and explains that he has no other choice. He had to save London at all costs. But Catherine does not believe a single word of her father. Valentine makes one last attempt to destroy the shield wall. He has his henchmen destroy the wheelhouse employees, and now the city is moving toward the wall uncontrollably. Catherine sneaks into the wheelhouse and realizes that the city is about to crash into the wall. Tom, who is watching from the airship, contacts the cabin and is answered by Catherine. She is in a panic because London cannot be stopped as the brakes and the control panels are disabled. Tom gets the idea to blow up the engine to slow down London. Meanwhile, Valentine tries to escape but is pursued by Esther. She is ready to shoot him, but suddenly Valentine informs the girl that he is her father. Startled by this news, she drops her guard and Valentine knocks the weapon out of her hands. They continue to fight when Tom suddenly appears and rescues Esther. After that, the guy shoots down Valentine's ship. Valentine miraculously survives the shipwreck, but soon finds himself under London's caterpillars. The Londoners, led by Catherine, are approaching Shan-Guo. The governor allows the survivors to enter the city. The feud between London and the Anti-Traction League is over. Esther and Tom go on an airship trip because they have dreamed of seeing the world all their lives. And with that, this story ends here. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.